posted up a poll on Facebook there, asking kind of two questions about maintaining a healthy weight. So, do you know what you need to do in order to lose weight? Have a fair idea of what you need to do to lose weight, but just can't seem to do it, or do you have absolutely no idea? And the overwhelming majority, 90% of people, said that they knew what to do, but they just can't seem to do it, which should suggest to you that it's not another diet that you need, that you already have a fair idea of what eating healthier, doing a bit of exercise and so on. You know what needs to happen. So why is it that 90% of people know what they need to do, they just can't seem to do it? And it comes down to the how. So that's what I'm going to be talking about tonight, is the kind of how, the execution of what you're trying to do. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let people come on here. So we're going to give it a few minutes. I'm going to share this on my page. So if you do coming on, say hi, and we'll kind of we'll get into it in the next couple of minutes. So let me share this on a couple of other pages. I see people coming on already. If you're on, come on and say hi, and I'll see if I can see some comments coming through. So if you're on, say hi, give me a wave, give me a smile. Hey, Anna Mooney, how are you? So tonight I'll be looking for some interaction from you guys as well. So certainly tap in your likes and your ha-has when I'm cracking all my hilarious jokes. But I said the fascinating thing is that 90% of people know what they need to do. They just can't seem to do it. As I said, I'm just sharing this on a couple of pages so that I can get everyone in SF Fitness coming on board. So basically tonight I was going to do it just for the SF Fitness members, then I decided to, I'll share it for all over Facebook. Because it's a big thing that we see on a daily basis, that people are putting an awful lot of pressure on themselves, trying to do so many different things, and that they can't seem to manage everything. And so what I'm going to go through tonight is kind of show you why, as I say, kind of knowing what to do isn't the thing that's holding you back. It's how to actually execute it. It kind of comes down to a lot with the all or nothing approach, that people kind of know they need to eat healthier. Like here's the thing, right? Telling someone to eat healthier and exercise more is about as useful as telling someone who's drowning to drown less and swim more. Do you know what I mean? Like it's useless information. It's like, yeah, sure, we know that. But it's kind of like, okay, how do I do this? What do I personally, you as an individual, need to do? How do you fit it into your lifestyle? I kind of talk about as well, I'm going to talk about as well, your big rocks. So, in order, hey Brona, hey Sean, I'm talking about something like your big rocks. So there are certain key things that if you start doing on a regular basis, you're going to get the greatest percentage of results, rather than trying to kind of do this kind of all or nothing approach. Okay. So as I said, kind of everybody has a fair idea that, hey Hazel, everybody has a fair idea that if we reduce our portion sizes, eat more vegetables, drink a bit more water, we're going to be healthier. It's going to help us kind of maintain our weight. It isn't rocket science, but it's the actual how do I do that? And that's what we're going to be going through. Yes, the fitness industry largely as a whole makes it very confusing, because they start talking about different diets and low carb and vegan and keto and all this kind of sort of stuff. But they're all just how-tos of eating less. And the thing is those kind of diets generally tend to just kind of plant into your mindset that if you don't follow it 100%, you're not going to get the results that you're looking for, which is utter nonsense. I'm not going to get too much into the kind of what to do, but as I said, it's kind of in essence, we know we need to eat a little bit less and so on and so forth, exercise a little bit more. A lot of people will then kind of blame motivation and things like that. And so what I'm going to go through tonight is I'm going to show you a really quick and fast way to boost your motivation right now while we're going to go through this live, and to show you that kind of motivation isn't really the kind of key driver behind doing what you need to do. So kind of in terms of kind of why I'm doing this, like I kind of started off as a personal trainer in 2002, which is 17 years ago now. And I realized very quickly, and thankfully in the kind of the people I was with, the other kind of trainers I was kind of working with, had a very kind of good grasp on this as well, that it's not knowing what to do. It's the psychology behind how to do what you do. It's about human behavior. It's about your habit building. It's about why self-sabotage happens all the time. So I started actually my first psychology course in neuro-linguistic programming in 2004. And since then, I've done loads of different courses, love reading books on human behavior, habit formation, psychology. Current book I'm reading at the moment is called Happiness Hypothesis. So it's kind of about how our brains are kind of how to be happy essentially, but how our psychology and brains are kind of hardwired as well. So all of this kind of, again, is reverting back, and I love the phrase, is like telling someone to eat less and exercise more is about as useful as telling someone who's drowning to drown less and swim more. So to kind of start off with an example, give me a like if you know eating more vegetables is healthier than eating sweets. Again, you know what to do. So give me a like. Is eating vegetables healthier than eating more sweets? Yes, of course it is. Give me a like if having grilled chicken is better than KFC. Yes, we know that. In order to lose weight, do we need to eat a little bit? Yes. Again, yes, we know that. So here's the thing is, why don't you do it? And it comes down to how you're actually approaching it. And it's not just how you're doing it on a daily basis. It's going down to how you think about it, how you feel about it, and then ultimately how you're acting upon it. So your current way of thinking, feeling, acting upon what you want to do has gotten you to this state, okay? Your current kind of level of fitness, weight, maintenance, whatever it is. So in order to change your body physically, in terms of your health, your fitness, your weight, whatever it is, you need to change how you think, feel, and act about it. So I'm looking down at my laptop here as well, guys, because I've comments coming through. So I'm going to be kind of glancing up and down between the two. So in terms of your current way of thinking and how you kind of feel about doing it, is kind of provides your current level of motivation. So I want to kind of talk about motivation right now, and let's get your kind of input onto this. So in the comments, on a scale of 1 to 10, let's say 1 being you really can't be arsed, and 10 being you feel like Mr. Motivator, and 10 double espressos, you're raring to go, can't wait to get it. I want you to think about what you want, and I want you to rate your level of motivation on a scale of 1 to 10. Okay, so think about what you want. Again, a lot of people kind of go with a body shape thing, but it can be anything in terms of, obviously fitness and health sphere. So think about what you want, and then rate your level of motivation in terms of getting that on a scale of 1 to 10. So 1 is you can't really be arsed. 10, you're like Mr. Motivator on 10 double espressos or something like that. Okay, so I've got a couple of questions I'm going to ask you after you do that. So post it in the comments, guys. And just let me get a kind of a sense of people's, essentially what we're doing is we're rating our motivation. So again, you're kind of, people, okay, currently 5 or 6, 5, 5, 6, 5, 6. You know, they're all kind of, yeah, you know, these are kind of like, I can take it or leave it type of kind of ones. Oftentimes when I ask people this question, we're getting even lower. Do you know what I mean? We're getting kind of, I get 1s and 2s and 3s and that kind of thing. So what I'm about to do is, and again, comment up into it, because this is a really, really important thing called calibration, in terms of kind of seeing where you're at now, and we can actually change that within the next couple of minutes. I'm going to play some Jedi mind tricks on you. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions. Again, I just got them open up on the laptop here. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions now in terms of what you want. So the first thing is when you're thinking about what you want now, it's very effective when you do this and actually write it down, as opposed to just you know, thinking about it in your head. It's very, very kind of very effective when you do this, but it's still effective. It's even more effective with a pen and paper. But what you can do is do this afterwards. So think about your outcome, okay? Getting your desired outcome. What is it specifically that you want, okay? So when we're thinking about this is what you specifically want. Be positive, okay? This must be stated in the positive, okay? So it could be, I want to lose X amount of weight. I want to run a marathon in October, you know, blah, 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 so on and so forth. So jot down exactly what your desired outcome is. There's no negativity allowed in this, you know, and don't be vague, you know, so I'd like to get fit, I'd like to tone up and lose a little bit. Exactly what you want, okay? Be descriptive on this. So a good way of kind of thinking about this is, how will you know when you've got it, okay? So what are the indicators in terms of letting you know, okay, I've actually gotten this? So what would you see? You know, kind of, not even in terms of what you'd look like, but what would you see as well? What and how will you feel? And then what you hear as well. So again, it could be compliments from other people. It could be, if it's a fitness goal, crossing the finish line, people cheering, you know, whatever it is. So be specific, very specific. I want this exact outcome. And then what will you see? How will you know when you've gotten it? What will you see, what will you hear, what will you feel? Now, to make this even more specific is give it a timeline, okay? When do you want this, okay? So exactly when do you want this? You know, don't just say, yeah, I want it right now. Obviously, click our fingers and we all want it right now. But, you know, kind of give yourself a kind of, okay, I'd like this in the next 3 months, 6 months, whatever. Now, here's a couple of other kind of questions like this. It's like, where would you want this, okay? Now, it's quite kind of hard to think about that question, but in terms of, you know, let's say if someone's running a marathon or so, well, I want this, it's the Dublin Marathon, I want this in Dublin and run crossing the finish line. But again, it could be, well, where do I want this? Well, I want to feel this go because I want to go into a clothes shop and buy exercise clothes, or, you know, I want to feel fit, so I want to be in the gym and be able to do certain things, those kind of things. And then like, is there anybody that you want this with? So your significant other, your friends, your family, people that you're training with, whatever. Who do you want this with? Okay. Now, the reason why we're asking all this is we're trying to kind of bring this up to the forefront of your mind and your conscious, and make it more real for you. Now, here's a really good question. What will happen when you get this? So kind of taking everything that we've done is, what will happen when you get this? Okay? So thinking about specifically exactly what you want. Be very, very specific on what you want. What will happen when you get this? So that's a great question to think about. But what's an even better question is to kind of flip it and go, what will happen if you don't get this? So what will happen if you don't get this? Now, like I said, this is even more effective when you're actually jotting down things. So if anybody is interested, I've kind of created a document for guys in SF Fitness with all these questions on it. If you would like me to send you this, just type comment yes, and I'll send this on to you. I'll DM you. I don't think I've ever used that phrase. I'm not social media savvy. Yeah, I'll send it to you on as a Facebook message. So if you want these questions on a kind of a document that you can kind of write on yourself, etc. and stuff like that, I will send this to you. So let me know. So what will happen if you don't get this? Now, the reason why we're asking this is because there's going to be consequences of not getting it. And sometimes those consequences of not getting it are actually bigger drivers than what we're actually working towards, because they're more real. We're kind of experiencing them roundabout now. And it's kind of like, well, if I don't get this, I'm going to stay and kind of feel the same way I am. I'm going to feel a sense of, so on and so forth. And then finally, what are all the benefits that you will get from achieving this? Okay, so when you achieve this, list as many benefits as you can. So kind of what sort of benefits are you going to, how are you going to feel? What are you going to be able to do more of? Kind of what are you going to be moving away from as well in terms of current things that might be holding you back? So now that you've done all that, and you've really kind of brought to the kind of your forefront, okay, well, it's like, this is what I definitely want, and I know I don't want this. This is where I want to get to. Rate your level of motivation now on a scale of 1 to 10. So again, pop it in your comment box, pop it in the comments, what your motivation is now. Let me open up Facebook again. So again, let me know what your level of motivation has changed to. I've just picked kind of 3 or 4 questions out of this document. There's actually 10 questions to it. So it said, if you want this, me to send it to you. As I comment yes, and we'll do this. So after doing that, when we go through the full list of questions, what it does is it changes your level of thinking, and it makes you feel more motivated. Now, we are great at motivation, but just doing it in the opposite way. We're great at demotivating ourselves. So there you go. Like the comments coming up is like an increase of 1, an increase of 2. And again, this is something that we've only just done for 3 or 4 minutes. And if you spend 5 to 10 minutes going through this document, it's going to really, really help. Brown has gone from a 6 to an 8 as well. So a lot of the times when it comes to, Anna jumped up as well, brilliant. So a lot of times when it comes to us, we're really good at demotivating ourselves, but literally to motivate ourselves is the opposite thing. We've got to focus on what we want. We've also got to focus on what we don't want and what we're kind of tired of, what we're sick of, and that kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? It'll kind of start to drive you forward. So now that I've got your attention and we've instantly increased your motivation, you're very welcome. One of the things to realize is I didn't give you more motivation. You created it in your head. And that's what motivation is. Motivation is an emotion. It is not something you have. I learned this in NLP. Dr. Richard Bandler, one of the co-creators of NLP, but he passed it on to Owen Fitzpatrick, Brian Colbert, and the Irish Institute of NLP. But it's just a really good way of running your brain more effectively. Now, as I said, we're really good at running our brain very ineffectively by focusing on all the things that stop us. Okay, so what I want you to do is think about what's stopping you from getting the results that you want. Okay, so now that you know, you're able to kind of spark your motivation up a couple of points just with something as simple as that. Think about what's stopping you, and in terms of how will trying to get this affect your life, in terms of like the negative consequences, because this is what self-sabotage is all about. That we try, and I sit down with members of SF Fitness all the time, and I ask them kind of in terms of kind of what they want, etc., and kind of what's stopping them. And a lot of people are kind of like, it's just me. It's just me. But that's kind of like, it's a bit of a cop-out, because of course it's just you. But what exactly specifically is stopping you in your kind of quest to go and achieve this? So if you say lack of motivation, well, I've just shown you that it's actually not lack of motivation. So it comes down to kind of like, what resources do you have? Do you have, and when I'm saying resources, like we're going to look, okay, let's say SF Fitness, we're providing coaching, we're providing the right plan, but other resources could be, books and recipes, money, things. What do we actually need to make this easier? For a lot of people, they need to learn how to cook. They need to pick up some recipes, and these recipes are recipes that they know are going to kind of have a fair idea that are going to work for them. So if this is making sense to you guys, give me a kind of a like, a love, a haha, or wow, just tap one of the emojis, except for the angry face. Let me know that you're kind of, you're getting value from this. So when we're looking at, okay, I'm motivated to do, I definitely know I want to do this, but okay, what's actually preventing me and stopping me from doing this? We can look at things like time and energy and these kind of things. So what we've got to do is kind of, rather than looking at your, let's say I asked you, what did you want? So there's your, what do I want? A, and here's where I want to get, or sorry, so where am I now? I'm at A, and I want to get to Z, okay? It's not B, okay? Your destination is Z, okay? A to Z. B is your next step. I want you to think about that. It's not A to B, because there's nothing in between A and B. It's A to Z. So in order to get Z, you do not need to be at the level of Y. You don't need to be doing what it takes to get Z, because you're not there yet. Does that make sense? You're at A, you need to get to B. So all you've got to do is focus on doing what it takes to get to B, which is generally a hell of a lot easier to implement than doing that. So I'm going to take weight loss as an example, right? Say someone wants to lose 3 stone. That's their ultimate goal. I want to lose 3 stone. 3 stone, ultimate goal. Their first goal should be to lose 5 pounds or 3 pounds or whatever, a kind of small chunk to go, okay, how do I do that first, okay? And potentially not just that, but how do I do that and keep it off? How do I do that in a way that I'm not just going to rebound and put the weight back on? It comes down to this kind of like this A to Z kind of thing, and people thinking, okay, I need to be doing everything possible to achieve Z when you're only at A. It's this all or nothing approach. So yes, okay, we need to eat less, in order to kind of maintain a healthy weight, need to exercise a bit more, eat more vegetables, so on and so forth. But it doesn't mean we have to cut out carbs and go clean eating or paleo or doing anything along the lines of that. So extreme that, yes, that might get you to Z, but you don't need to get to Z. You just need to get to B right now. And that way it's a lot more sustainable. You're going to be a lot more consistent in what you're doing. And consistency and sustainability is the key to maintaining a healthy weight. Not doing all or nothing, not cutting out every ounce of sugar out of your diet, not cutting out bread, or not vilifying any food whatsoever. And not, let's say, kind of in terms of exercise wise, doing this whole extreme, I've got to beat the living crap out of myself in the gym every time I go there. I've got to train 6 days a week, or I've got to do blah, 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 blah. It's no. Where are you at? Where are you starting from? You're point A, and what do I need to do to get to point B? Once you're at point B, then we're C, then we're D, then we're E, then we start to build momentum, and then we kind of start to go through it. So generally, when we're looking at this, it comes down to good planning and good strategies. Okay, so when we look at what's stopping us, is it time? Again, actually give me some feedback. What do you think is stopping you? Excuse me. What do you think is stopping you, so I can make this relatable to you? Is it time, money, stress? Is it a lack of a plan? Is it a lack of a clear goal or a clear vision of kind of how to do what you want to do, or how to get what you want to get? So let me know. There's a bit of delay on this, so I kind of always kind of give a few minutes. Cool. So there's one thing. Kind of Sean's coming up with cravings. Okay, there's a big thing. So my question to Sean would be, Hazel cravings as well as there's 2 questions to that. Brown at planning. So with regards to cravings, my first question is it the cravings that are stopping you, or is it eating the food that's stopping you? Those are 2 different things, if you kind of know what I mean, okay? So the craving is just a feeling. The feelings can't make you fat. And fat isn't a feeling as well, just to let you know. I always get people coming, I'm having a fat day, I'm feeling fat today, or something like that. No. So here's the thing. It's eating foods in the evening times, right? So if it's eating certain foods in the evening times, a couple of things with that is that this can come down to kind of how we're viewing the food, okay? So here's the thing. If I eat chocolate in the evening time, and have a craving for chocolate and eat chocolate in the evening time. Is it giving into the cravings? Okay, but is that true, Sean? Okay, is giving into that? So if you get a craving for chocolate or whatever you're getting a craving for, and give into that craving, does that ruin your results? Does it ruin your week? Does it ruin your day's efforts? Does it do that? The answer is probably no, depending on how much of what you eat. So this comes probably back to like what Brona's looking for, is a good plan, a good strategy in terms of, okay, you know you're going to get cravings in the evening time. Okay, it's just those kind of things. So what do you do to, number one, possibly not get the cravings, and number two, that if you do get the cravings, that you can actually eat and give into the cravings, because you're just eating a bar of chocolate. Do you know what I mean? Like here's the thing, you can get bars of chocolates that are 80 to 100 calories. You could eat an apple that's 80 to 100 calories. They're the same equivalent of calories. It's not going to make a fucking difference. It's your overall weekly and monthly intake that dictates where your results are going to come from. How much is the problem? Here's the thing. Okay, Hazel, so you're great all day. What does that mean? Okay, again, these are all coming down to, again, just like Sean, it's like we're believing that, okay, I'm great all day long, and then I kind of eat too much in the evening time. But what does great all day long mean? And I'd argue that labeling things as I'm being good or I'm being bad, I'm doing great or I'm doing bad, is very, very, sorry, just reading one of the comments there from Michelle, watching this just after milling into Wow Burger. Good stuff. But here's the thing. So it's like, there's no such thing as good or bad, okay, when we take things in isolation. So we got to look at your overall, like I said, your overall week, your overall month. And this is where good planning comes into. Now, there are other things that we can do to ensure that, why are you getting cravings in terms of, is it stress? Is it boredom? Stuff like that. Is it your inability to stop eating certain things? So simple ideas with regards to cravings is you take yourself out of the environment. So if you do the same thing every single evening and get the cravings and give into those cravings, it's a habit. That's what you're into. You're into a habit. So if you're doing the same thing tomorrow night after a busy day at work, Hazel, and you get your cravings, it's kind of like you're banging your head off a brick wall over and over and over and over again. It's just this kind of vicious cycle over and over and over again. The key is to actually take yourself out in the environment, change what you're doing. Because, like I said at the start, is your level of how you think, how you feel, and how you act has dictated where you are currently now. So you've got to change how you think, feel, and act. So if sitting on the couch watching your favorite soap or chilling out on your phone or whatever it is associated with getting cravings, that's a habit. And if we change that, and so if we don't sit on that couch, so we go out for a walk or we do something different, just take ourselves out of that room, move into to change the environment. You don't buy the stuff that you're going to crave, or you buy things that are less impactful on your overall calorie intake. So if you have a packet of biscuits and there's 1,000 calories in the packets of biscuits, why not get rid of those 1,000 calorie packets of biscuits and just buy one packet of biscuits, or one small packet of biscuit or something that's only 100 calories. Therefore, yes, you eat that, but you stop yourself from eating X amount. So this is all about habit formation, guys, okay? And again, this is something that kind of needs to be done on an individual basis, but you're all in habits of doing certain things in a certain way, of running your life in a certain way, and it's gotten you the results that you have now. In order to change that, to change your results, you've got to change your habits. You've got to change your behaviors. And the way you brush your teeth is a habit. The way you get up in the morning and start your day is a habit. And if you can change the habits that are disempowering you and add in habits that are empowering you, then you get to make changes. So like I said, is in terms of looking at your A to Z, we got to look at what is B. What's the next step? So the next step might be to create a healthier habit. So if we get cravings in the evening time, instead of cravings, we go for a walk, we change the environment. Or it could be just forgetting about the evening time right now for the moment, and just my next habit is to try and eat an extra portion of vegetables throughout the day. or 2, drink more water. Nicole Connolly, I see you're just on. We've worked a lot with the water with you. A really simple way of drinking more water is you set an alarm to beep. So you go, cheers, I'm going to drink more water. The other thing is, normally when I drink water, I don't sip it like that. I fill this glass up and I drink it. Gone. It just means I have to think less about it. But that's my habit in terms of how I've created. So creating habits is really, really powerful. Something that's going outside the scope of this a little bit, because it's an individual process. What we're actually going to do at SF Fitness is we're going to run a 6-week challenge. And essentially it's going to be running on how to plan, how to strategize, how to identify the disempowering habits that you have and create empowering habits. And I hear my son screaming in the background. It's time for bed. Actually, it's very past his bedtime. We're doing a 6-week challenge where we're going to go into all of this and create our own individual goal. But what we're going to do is keep you accountable. So we're going to basically set your habits and go, okay, I'm going to commit to doing this week, or this 3 times this week, or whatever it is. And then we're going to hold you accountable and make sure that you go and follow through and do it. So instead of looking at your all or nothing, I've got to do all of this and cut out this and exercise more and blah, 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 blah. For a lot of people, you have to identify your big rock. If it's that craving in the evening time, if it's that lack of plan that we're following through and we're just kind of riding kind of on a crest of a wave, let's say, that we identify the one big thing. Okay, I'm just going to focus on that big thing and focus on one way to shift it, to change it that little bit. Again, we're not trying to eliminate cravings entirely, okay? We can't do that. If that's kind of one example. So what we've got to do is, how do we manage those cravings? How do we change our habits around the cravings or around your big rocks? What are the biggest things holding you back? And what's the most important thing to tweak and adjust and change so that you create momentum? And your results are not the result of doing one big, massive, all-out effort. It's a result of doing little bits, chipping away, over a period of time, i.e. 6 weeks, like the 6-week challenge we're about to start in April in SF Fitness. But this challenge is very, very different. A lot of people have been asking about it. Well, like, is this a weight loss challenge? Is it how much weight, blah, blah, blah. And it's kind of, no, it's your own challenge. We're going to identify your big rocks, your habits, your behaviors, and kind of help you create and strategize a plan that's going to get you to overcome that. So rather than thinking you've got to overhaul your entire diet, your entire lifestyle, you've got to do something that's going to affect your work or your lifestyle at home. Like, here's the one big thing about self-sabotage. With self-sabotage, and I'll give you an example that I remember chatting to someone, and they enjoyed a glass of wine with their husband in the evening time. It was pretty one of the only times they get to spend with them because they're both working, etc. and so on. So that glass of wine was really, really, really important to their relationship. Now imagine I was an idiot and said you can't drink alcohol for the next 6 weeks if you want to lose weight. Like, that person is going to self-sabotage, but no, it's a threat to their system, that type of advice. So that's something really important, is to kind of know that you're not self-sabotaging, you're actually self-preserving for stuff like that. So it's really important that what you choose, how you choose to implement eat less, exercise more, has to be conducive and supportive to your life. It can't conflict with other areas of your life. Again, it's like the whole kind of low carb thing that people kind of, so many times I talk to people, it's like, oh, they're afraid to go out in the weekends. That, like, I'm looking at what my friends are eating, and if I want to lose weight, I can't eat what they're eating, and I have to, and it's kind of like, that is just not a way to live your life, and it can't last. That's not sustainable. So you've got to make sure, as I said, is your strategies, your planning around it is all to do with making sure that you're doing something that doesn't conflict with other aspects of your life, and then supports your kind of current lifestyle. And as I said, if you're kind of coming home tired, worn out at the end of the day, and you're kind of like, and you just want to eat something, there's a whole big picture around that in terms of energy levels, stress, those kind of things. It's not about food. That's about stuff going on kind of mindset wise, relaxation, finding ways to get your body shifting out of this kind of stress mode or kind of exhaustion mode. So again, the biggest thing I think a lot of what people do, especially when it comes to stress, is that people stress themselves out when they're stressed in terms of, oh, but I've got to do this and I've got to do this and I've got to do this, as well as trying to manage my entire lifestyle. I've got to now eat the perfect diet in the world and attend the gym 6 days a week and kick my ass and do all sorts of stuff like that. And again, that stuff, again, it always comes down to sustainability. So I'm going to kind of start finishing up, but if you do have questions, let me know. So the SF Fitness members, lots of SF Fitness members are on at the moment, and there's other people aren't SF members, but if you're an SF member, we are going to be doing the 6-week challenge kicking off starting in April. I don't have a definitive date yet, but I know a lot of you have told me you're into it. And I said I just wanted to give an introduction into the kind of setup that we're going to do for this over the course of this video. And then what we're going to do is, if there's anybody who's non-member, and I don't know if I have space, but if you are interested in it, you can send us a message on the SF Fitness Facebook page, just to say, I'd like to know more information. That's it. I may not be taking outside members or anything like that, but if you're interested in, just do let me know. So if you have, just going through comments here. Perfect. All right, I'm going to finish it up and put my son to bed. So if you're watching this after the fact, by the way, and you want to post in and interact and everything like that, do so. But for now, I shall leave it at that. Thank you and good night.